This is my second video about this this match here. It's I think 5 turns away from the end of the classical era here. We're looking at player 1, who is Simon Bolivar, and that's the Gran Colombia civilization. I guess their situation is, you know, they have horses, not a whole lot of them, but they can get a pretty functional military together. They figured iron out as well. Some Mongolians who can legally spawn units on that tile because they bought that land hundreds of years ago. We'll see what that amounts to. We are not at war with them at the moment, so there's going to be tension here, I would expect. And you can stay there. You can hang out over here. Or, let me see. Well, let's see. These men were getting out of here, basically. They squashed a barbarian camp. Tried to take some cities, ended up retreating. Cost was too expensive. But they did get a builder out of it, so that might be interesting. One of Simon Bolivar's perks is his units. They can basically all move a little bit further, which a scale can be quite useful. Yeah, that was the Norse, or what's left of them. These are Mayans, and they are my teammate, along with Greece under Corgo, which is doing alright for itself. But we're pretty safe here. We've about got control of this part of the continent, which is Zealandia. Up here is Atlantica, Oceania is China's up here in the north, Mongolia. We've also got Britain and Australia. On that side of the mountain range is the Vikings under, I forget his name, Harold something, but his friends are over there, so there wasn't a whole lot he could really do except try to get diplomatic support. Britain, who's his friend, actually purchased the city, and they're gonna see what they can do with that. Yeah, they lost a city or two. Just kind of building up these cities. Mine here wouldn't do that idea. Although I could check to see what kind of placement bonuses, what that looks like. Well, let's see, yeah, +1. Got a wonder working on right there. This won't be bad. Oh man, what is that about? We'll see. Very fast, almost finished, huh? Player 4, what does player 4 mean? That'd be Vietnam, right? Coffee and open borders, huh? Vanities are good. I guess so. Hmm. I might say no to this. This man is building up an army. He's gonna need enemies. At the moment, he actually doesn't have many. So he's either gonna go towards me or like after Japan and Persia. Either way, no. I don't have much to gain from that anyway. I don't plan on going in that direction a whole lot. I'm already at war probably. You can declare wars, you just get grievances doing so, which affects you later on. Okay, player 2. Who is player 2? That is China. One thing I remember about China is their science is it's doing pretty well. They're at 33 science a turn. A couple intelligently placed campuses mostly. Some wise policy selections also. But yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see here. Mathematics in 2 turns. You know, it's pretty interesting. A lot of cool stuff you can build, but I don't necessarily need that right at the moment. I know unit, however, 6 turns does not sound bad. That's the second scientist claim in a couple turns. We have Euclid. Yep. Let's see. Go ahead and do that. That's cool. He would have given me mathematics, but there's barbarians and stuff, so I ended up getting that handled. Huh. Yeah, I like to think, speaking as China, I like to think I can trust Japan at some level. Not a whole lot of damage we could do to each other in much of a sneaky way, because by land, there's only one way from China and this continent up into where Japan is at. That is this mountain pass. That's it. Over here, but it's a matter of getting over there. And you have Vietnam and Persia. But yeah, anyway, their politics is pretty simple. If you can only claim universities so many times, but okay, there's no one standing there, so he can go. I think he can probably go there also, but he's at second nearby university. If not, what do I want to do here? Alright, where would I like a wall to be? There's one. Oh, there's 2 here. It's interesting. Buying all that land is going to be expensive. And thus take some time. But let's see. This wouldn't be a bad spot for a wall post. Got more plains in the north. That northern wall would help Japan almost as much as China. Regardless of what's going on. The navies are starting to build up slowly, so getting from one spot to another is going to be more possible. It's going to open up different avenues for war and diplomacy. Maybe trading. Alright, this guy, just go home. I built a Viking longship in Nidaros a little while back. Spawned in this pond, and nothing I could do with it. So after a little while, I deleted it. I like to think we scrapped it for some purpose. Now, here's the thing. I could shoot this scout right in the back, drop him out, because that man across the pond is not a lot of damage to me. And so is his friend over here. I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna wise up to leave me alone or not. I could give them a chance. And I'll just move men into place in the meantime. Now we'll see if my scout gets left alone. I don't have a whole lot of blood feud with Greece, really. This is Sinbad. He's gonna be around for 5 more turns. He basically has a couple of clever ways of putting 200 gold into your pocket. He's also pretty strong, 42 strength naval unit, which you can get pretty early. Oh, if I had 600 gold, I could spend it on units, builders, acquiring resources. I chose not to look into that. Alright, so I'm doing this is Vietnam. They're expanding slowly, but they're not really under a lot of war, so they're in good shape. So I have 2 thoughts here. One, I'm hoping to see if I can get probably this guy to come up, and then I would have 2 versus 1 or 2 advantage, because standing here it's 1v2 and it's not as ideal. Gonna move this horseman out of the way to heal up. He's away from this fire, which I only just looked at. There's a drought around. None of that's good. The thing with Vietnam is they can only build buildings like in trees. I think you can replant forests at some point, and it could be forest or rainforest, but that's kind of their deal. Disadvantage in some ways, but ideally it's supposed to come with advantages that make it to be something that you're paying for, but you're glad that you paid for it. This I don't have much interest in, but waiting to upgrade it to a swordsman. Well, let's see, if you need orders, we'll be over here. There you go, some orders for you. And this guy, he's a hero that I'm pretty much ready to let go of. Don't foresee much conflict. One thing I could really do with him, oh, this 9 lifespan, is attack Fez here. But you see they're placed in cheese land, where there's some cheese going on, such that you can't attack Fez unless you have access to the ocean. They're the people of science and cheese, but primarily cheese. Persia is sending its first couple galleys, and Japan might send one. It's doing Japan things also. See how that develops. Man, another settler. There's not a whole lot of land in this world. The map type is Terra, which I think means it's some form of a single continent or Pangea map, possibly with some islands. I hope I find a large island change. I don't remember exactly the details of how the map that I selected works. So I don't want to fight this battle, but I can take a look at some stats here. It's very good stats. I'm attacking across the river. All bad news. he can chill out here too. Okay, economy's growing slowly. Got science and culture and faith coming in slowly. Let's see if I can start to get ramped up here. These would all be good things. At 2 or 3 turns apiece, these are also good things. Preserve. These are very good districts also. And there's a little bit of, sometimes you end the turn, you go back to the player because it's actually unfinished business. We will make a plantation to harvest leaf rice. We'll get golden housing out of it, and it looks like we're getting food from the tile, but not from the improvement. That's alright. Probably take housing where we can get it. You can get housing from the ocean in this game. I don't believe that's as much Vietnam's thing. What you can do with Vietnam is place one preserve and just get a whole lot of housing and come up with some other strategies. Got a horseman in Mycenae, Greece. What are we interested in? This looks like a border over here, but it isn't. You can actually pass directly from China into Greece. What you can do is go this way, or around this way. I wonder which one of these mountain passes would be more important. I mean, this one, it's by 2 nice cities, that's for sure. But there's not much room here. It just looks like it'd be a slaughter fest. This vampire is at a 36. I believe it started at 25. When units, including barbarians, die around it, it gets stronger. I believe 20 tiles is the range that they mean by being close to the unit or barbarian. As far as what, like, game, they're not really mods, but they're like game modes that I'm running here. It's an updated version of the game, and it's got pretty much all the settings on. It's like you know, like the vampire stuff, and he has this new monopolies mode thing on. Other than some goods harvesting, haven't seen a whole lot of that just yet, but that might well make sense because it's still 200 BC. So yeah, Andrew Carnegie's well, he's a good 2,000 years away, huh? This is the Sumerians. They have politically a terrible starting location. You have enemies to the north, south, and southeast. They're all on a team. And there's another enemy who's not on your team down here too, just to make it a little bit more challenging. All that said, this city is actually kind of healthy. It's probably going to fall. I'm gonna say his name is Solomon, but I'm not too sure about that. So I can check. And he's Gilgamesh. Alright, well, Gilgamesh's strategy here is to turn Uruk into almost kind of an arcade game. He's always making it more expensive to take, more units, more firepower, but he's also investing in it, making it more valuable to take. So he's just daring someone to take it down. Let's see about walls, huh? In 4 turns, that sounds very nice. Commercial hub would be nice, but to stack a whole lot of districts on a city requires, I think, technology and population. Population is a big limitation also. Without any ocean access, none of that particularly interests me. Might go for engineering. This unit is pretty decent. You unlock it in the ancient era, and to tell you the truth, well, through the classical it still kicks ass if you use it right. And just gonna wait here and just ambush whoever comes around. That's kind of the idea. Archers are good. Keep some of those around. Another one of these. I mean, if you're standing here, so you came from Kish, which used to be my city, but never mind that, and you get attacked by me, and that's going to be a pretty good clobbering. Alright, so if we harvest this rainforest, we will collect 18 production, 18 food, and you'll have a plot that doesn't have rainforest on it. Which would mean I could build something here, including, well, mine, maybe a ziggurat. Been into those lately, and it's been quite successful. We have a soothsayer unit. Let's see if we can burn some trees. I couldn't have done that on Simon's Land because I'm not technically at war with any of that team. They're team, not 3, team 1, yep. But yeah, let's see, what did I just do? Look, I started a fire, which is the width of 1 tile. Could be understanding that incorrectly. Alright, so the Mayans denounce me, which means they can declare war on me in 5 turns with a pretty limited penalty, which is something I'll have to prepare for. But I only got 1 city, and preparing to defend it is what I've been doing. Well, who else is on Sumeria's team, you might be wondering. Well, that is China and Mongolia, which are both doing pretty good for themselves. They got lots of room to expand into. It's really not a great loss for them, just unfortunate. Which is also what Britain and Australia think of Norway. It's sort of on life support. Depending on how well we can do our own thing, though, we might be okay. Now, what can I do with a harbor? Maybe make more money, send more ships. Well, navies matter a whole lot in this world. Not a whole lot too immediately. However, being able to have catapults, I mean, that's not going to hurt anytime soon. We can do it like that. Britain gets bonuses for having cities that are not on its home continent. This man is escorting a settler unit. Gonna take a look at his point of view for a minute. And we basically just want to carefully and quietly move south. Southwest. Okay, we got a free archer unit because we not even settled, but have control of Bergen. We get a free archer unit in London, which is very good. We're kind of struggling in some ways, but could be a lot worse. Let's see. This is another settler archer pair. You can pick off some barbarians. Generally, you might as well pick off some barbarians, especially if they plan to interfere with your colonization. Yep. You can pay them to attack other people, but it's very often not worth it, and increasingly so as time moves forward. Alright, this is team... gonna be an odd number. No, even number. It's team 4. And this continent is... that's not what I want. Atlantica. Has there been a lot of war here? No. This is about the only barbarian camp I could think of coming up pretty late into the game. They don't have a lot of neighbors up here. There's some city-states. Persia has successfully kind of bent those two as well in some ways. He might take that land. Land is pretty valuable here. But anyway, we're just all building up. Doing alright. This is Persia, but Japan and I are interested in settling and exploring and looking around down this coast, which doesn't have a whole lot of player activity. Alright, so one idea is I could remove this swamp, get some quick food. I could make a farm here, which would be one less place to build a district. Could build a farm in this rice tile, which in my opinion is the best thing I could do with that tile. So I might as well do that. If you won't build a district on a tile because you want to improve it, you should improve that when you can, because you're already paying for it, basically. He's got one build himself. Let's take this swamp down. We can build stuff there. I like all three of these suggested improvements. So I'm going to build all of those. Bam, bam, bam. Builder's gone. They retire after 3 projects. They have a pretty nice retirement plan most of the time. Except for the barbarian builders, but we never ask them what they do with builders, so we'll never know. Settler. Let's see about getting him into the ocean. I think about the idea. We are visiting our very old, very dear friends, Fez. We have been continually at war with for quite a long time. Good 1,000 years. They've been blessed with an interesting city location, and interested in taking that. Let's see. So Colombia can participate in, I don't know what you call that, it's like the gathering and shipment of goods. It's actually a very lucrative part of the economy in this game setup. The thing with Colombia is they don't get as much housing from the water, which means you can get water right from the ground in tiles if they're wet, or from the ocean. In their case, they don't get that. Instead, they get extra housing from farms. Let's see. I would say all of these cities are growing. They're not growing very quickly, though. But they don't have an immediate threat, so they can afford to probably grow at their own pace. for another good little while. How invested are we in theology? Look at mercenaries first, look into that. Faz isn't great because Persia or Vietnam are going to try to squash it. Brussels is something Persia controls, but I will still get benefits for investing into it. Oh boy, do I want to start a war? Not really. Not really, to be honest with you. I'd want to get more resources in place first. How about a Mexican standoff then? Because you're gonna have to cross that river carefully. No reason not to send this man at least this far closer. They don't necessarily want to suck all of your resources into a single combat maneuver, because if it goes the wrong way, you might lose everything. I'm not interested in bothering them really, quite at the moment. I might invest resources and come back. It's a pretty good Olche unit, but I like the unit, but I'd rather take care of it than... No, I don't want that. I want to do this one, so he'll ask me what to do next turn, instead of hanging out there. You'll see, as Columbia, I didn't go into a city and set up productions. I have all of that on queues. It's good to look into the queue every so often, because it's like, oh, we've invented new units since we've even opened our queue. Yeah, this is really good. We want this. What do we want to trade for? Is the question. I'm almost thinking of putting over maneuver, which gives me 50% horse production. I would rather be able to afford the horses, build them slowly, and to be able to build something quickly that I can't actually afford to build that quickly. There's not a whole lot of help there. Natural philosophy, it's a science campus district thing. We're at 22 science, we want to stay that way. Recently acquired great scientist points instead of a different policy. What do I want to do? Let's see, so we're in Mongolia. The downfall of putting a barracks here is that I can't build another barracks for this city. This is where it spawns units now, unless I destroy the barracks. It's actually an interesting political realism. If I put a city here, then this would suddenly be a very valuable city to me. Sure, we can get catapults 3 turns from now. Sciences. Oh, I was going to say China, who is my ally, their science is helping me in some ways. If I start a research that they've completed, I get boosts towards it. And we might pull, actually, so you have 22 science, you might pull that resource as well. Well, Mongolia does have a couple of nice universities. Brussels at 3 representatives, they're at the 2nd tier, which will be, I don't know, some kind of production thing. But you have 2, and you already have 1 there. It's a good way to spend it. Not much I can say except hold your ground. Wait for politics. Alright, this is a builder we got from the barbarians, who got it from Norwegians, so He's just coming back home. How he got there? Trying to remember. I don't know, it seemed like he actually just spawned over on the other side of the ridge. He was switching hands, so some kind of glitch popping up would not surprise me all that much. Wulin has been kind of a headache for a good while. If I move him here, he'll be in the range of 2 archers. I'm gonna wait. I have Pesha, who's a very good hero, has 4 turns left in her lifespan. It looks like she's going to escort a settler with those. Gotten some pretty good value with this hero. Unfortunately, I was not able to take the Wulin city-state. It's hard to do that it's hard to do with 1 unit, even if that 1 unit is very powerful. Beowulf was also powerful, but he was not able to take the Sumerian city, Beowulf was under the control of the Mayans, but it became pretty clear that it was costing too much of Beowulf's health. It was too expensive, so he went to do other things. The city has pretty decent HP bar, you could say. Alright. Just kind of popping in with each civ and kind of looking around, seeing what stuff's like. This is basically a simulation that I'm running. I currently have control of all civs in this game, but I can relinquish control of whichever of them I choose as the game starts. You can go to each player and you can go ahead and make it a robot. So this is Australia. Deciding what to do with a builder coming out of their campus. I could start with that, that would be fine. I don't see any icons for this city explaining where districts might be planned. Not sure where this preserve would be. I want to know that before I start building improvements and other buildings. I'll get 2 housing for placing it here, which is pretty good for the going rate. I won't have to buy a tile. Yep, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to mark it. Playing the PS4, I hit the L1 button. I bring this up. I don't want any of this stuff. I want to hit right and go over here. Drop this on a space. Instead of messing with the up and down button here, I'm just going to click attack, press X on the word placing to preserve, hit circle, all is well. If you do start hitting up and down in that menu, you're going to have some stuff to figure out to, you know, kind of go back out of the door that you came into. Okay, Britain is my friend. I actually sold the city of Leventa to Britain in exchange for some resources. In this city, I needed coastal cities because coastal cities are really the thing. When you're John Curtin, at least in Japan, and some other individuals as well. What does that say? +3 housing in coastal cities, which I believe means if it's 3 tiles away from an ocean. Pasture culture bombs, couple unit, building things. You get increased production if someone declares war on you, I think. Has it happened? I think so, maybe not. War with player 1 because as Australia, the Norwegians are my friend. And there wasn't a whole lot I could do for them, however. Part of the reason Grand Columbia got so, you might even say greedy for this city here, which used to be Norway's Stavanger, is that it's within 6 tiles of its capital, and that's kind of their thing, is if it's within 6 tiles it gets extra yields. Every city not within 6 tiles gets negative yields. So they wanted it, they had the resources to take it, kind of made their intentions clear, and did so. Grand Columbia was interested in this stuff, but they didn't walk away with anything. Except a bruised nose. Not yet, anyway. Okay, the scout. He was over here, which isn't a bad spot, but he can also get taken down. I just say keep him kind of around units, instead of having 2 scouts way out in a plains area without friendly units around. When you know there are enemy units around. I'm at war with Mongolia and China in Team 2 and all of Team 1 also. So actually Team 4 is our only allies. What does he have? What does he need? That's 10 iron, enough for 1 unit. I'll take 10 horses. They won't let me ask for that for some reason. So I can do this, set the amount to 10, hit done, hit back. Ah, I see. He already has his horses involved in business. I won't ask him to get roped into a war. I'm not sure what much more he has to give me. 6 of these. I don't know what they're worth. What do you got? You got 8 a turn? Oh, I'll probably leave you alone. Oh, and you only have a few bucks, huh? Actually, let me think about that. Ah, it's not gonna remember any of that. Here's what I was thinking. I could give him 20 bucks, but I expect cash payments per turn, so I think that might be valuable to him. That's right, it was 10 of these. And I wanted as many horses I could get. I have some anyway, so it's not a huge deal. I wanted Now it's 30 turns, so 1 gold a turn for 30 turns is $30. So I'm giving you $20 now, so you can pay me 30, which is called usury, I think. But they're just gonna agree to it. Maybe it's not usury. Some kind of a financial deal. It's mutually beneficial. Of course, I'm in control of all of these civs so far, but I still try to take an objective view and see what I have to gain, what I have to lose. For each civ, I have to ask myself, what do I want? What do I have? And just kind of see things logically. And stories can kind of play out of that. He can heal here, it's not a problem. Alright, that being said, we're gonna take this man. Trouble is, these barbarian ships, they can launch projectiles and they do a lot of damage to units. So within 2 tiles, I think they can really hit you. I guess this one. And it looks like that ship is tough. If I had 3 archers here within range of it, and they're trading blows, it would still bury the 3 of them. They can't this man because he's behind city walls, but he was more valuable attacking that archer there. Have a nice day.